Right, folks, sorry for being silent on this channel for the past couple of weeks, but this is what I've been working on and trying to finish. This is the IREM KNA6032601. This is the second custom chip on the top board of the IREM PCB. And this one, I believe, handles some of the final color processing before it gets into between the RAM and the EPROMs. And I had two revisions of this that weren't working. This is one of them, and the other one didn't survive. But yeah, and you can see I had to patch some of the traces. This was the last one, but it was almost working, and I got it working by patching those traces. But this is the final version of this chip. So it's similar process that I followed for this one. So this one is the 201 6034201, and this was handled by those 6 LS166 on the bootleg board. This is the bootleg board, sorry, and I used the top board that was here actually originally, so to do that. Interestingly, the three ICs here are in different order than the top board, so that could be confusing, but it works the same way. And for here, well, this section here has the EPROMs and the 2 RAMs that are here and here, so I figured that this area here probably had something to do with it. So I started tracing, and indeed I found that these were connected to some of the same ICs on both boards. So I figured that this section over there was probably the culprit, and I needed to retrace that and put that on a smaller form factor, like this guy. So you can see there's 4 on top here and 5 below, so we got 4 and 5, same sort of layout. Interestingly, there was one here that did nothing, but this is the result, and well, this is it working. You'll have to take my word for it, and don't mind the top here. That's that's my monitor actually. It does the same stuff on a few games. I reverted to this monitor for a while, but I think I might just, because it was actually tidier and smaller and it had sound, but I'm going to revert back to the I think the other broadcast monitor, because it actually has a better sync and shows everything on screen better. Anyway, ran over, but so this is it. And since my last video, I've also opened an Etsy shop where I offer these. Also the PROM adapter. I have some of those JAMA fingerboards, these guys here that I make and that I have on the Etsy shop. So if you're not a Patreon, because I usually offer these bare PCBs now for Patreon tiers every month. So if you don't want to support the channel that way, that's absolutely fine. But if you want one of those, well, the Etsy shop is probably where you need to go. It's probably cheaper to be a Patreon, to be honest, but that's up to you. And I'll put the link in the description of the video where you can find these. I've actually had a couple of customers. I'm waiting for feedback from them. But this is it. This is the second one. So this one is known to fail quite often on a lot of board. I haven't heard as many of these failing, but I've known a few people who had this fail. And third on the list is this one. I actually have a prototype that is not working, but I'll get it to work, hopefully. And it's this last guy. I haven't heard instance of this guy failing, but you just never know. And it won't hurt to have a prototype, even if they get damaged, it can happen. So there you go. So as you can see, I have the RGB theme going on, because this whole thing is a final color processing. But never mind. Etsy is where you can get these. This is a small video. I'll probably have a longer video format as well this week when I release this. I'll see, because this take a lot of time. This is why I've been so quiet. I'm also working on making JAMA adapters. I have this guy here. There's actually a problem on the second player, so I didn't map that quite right, but I've been making a few. I'll put them to the Etsy shop as well, as they are available. I've made stuff for 1942, and I believe I have a few more for Sega 16, and let me check them out. I need to fully test them. Once I have them fully tested, yeah, there you go, Sega System 16, and the Konami Turn to JAMA and I'm working on a Pac-Man one and a few others. I have a Galaxy and I have a Capcom Classic coming up. But anyway, this is not I'll put them on the Etsy shop, so make sure you actually subscribe to that Etsy shop or you know, register or whatever you have to do. And this is the KNA 6034. It actually says 3064, 6034601, but it should be 6032601. There's a mistake on the silk screen, but there you go, folks. I hope this was interesting. I'm delighted to have gotten one of these to work again after the first one. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.